Hey everyone, so let's start from where I left yesterday, which was what was it? Nature of matter. So today I'll start with classification of matter. So um, I'm just starting out, so I don't think there's any topic which is too difficult for me where I need to use Claude. But as soon as I progress further down the chapter, I'll be definitely using Claude's help. For example, once you know, I think more molality, something like that, comes up, then I'll be using Claude to help me figure out how to solve those problems. And also these laws, chemical laws. So I'll start from properties of matter. No, so I need to start from classification of matters. So in class 9 chapter 2, don't remember you have learned at macroscopic or bulk level matter can be of two types, mixture and pure substance, and then they're further divided. When all constant particles are of the same of substance are same, it's said to be pure substance. A mixture contains different particles. Wait, what is the difference between atom? Let me open my VS Code. Okay, meanwhile it's loading, I'll continue further. A mixture contains particles or two or more substance, which may be present in any ratio. Hence the composition is variable. Pure substance forming mixtures are called components. What? Pure substance forming mixtures are called component, but when a mixture contains, it's called composition. Hence the composition is variable. Sugar solution in water, air are all mixture. Mixture may be homogeneous or heterogeneous. ठीक है. And in components completely mix with each other. This means particles of component of a mixture are uniformly distributed throughout the bulk of mixture and its composition is uniform. Sugar solution and air are example of what? Air is a homogeneous mixture. In contrast, we have heterogeneous. The composition is not uniform and sometimes different components are visible. For example, mixture of salt and sugar, grains and pearls along with some. ये मेरे को उस टाइम भी बहुत कंफ्यूजिंग लगा था जब मैं पढ़ रहा था. आज भी मेरे को ये बहुत कंफ्यूजिंग लग रहा है. ठीक है, मिक्स देखो. First, I'll break down my understanding and then I will give it to Claude and see if my understanding is correct or not. ठीक है, तो we have. Okay, तो हम क्या करेंगे? Classification of matter. So we'll take. Okay, so I'm gonna take matter और फिर उसको हम. Let me just copy this. ठीक है, यहाँ पे मैटर हो गया, देन इट्स of two type, mixture and pure substance. Now when all constituent particles are of the same are same in chemical nature, it's said to be pure. ठीक है, so all particles are of same nature. ठीक है, ये इसकी definition हो गई. A mixture contains particles of two or more pure substance. Okay, so but whereas mixture contain particles of two or more pure substance. A mixture where क्या है, pure substance forming mixtures are called its component. क्या है? Okay, so the pure substance within that mixtures are called components. I'll say the pure substance. तो इसका मैं क्या करता हूँ, डायग्राम थोड़ा सा बदल देता हूँ. I will say इसमें क्या होता है मिक्सचर में, और यार I'll draw a different diagram for this all together. बस मिक्सचर आ गया, ठीक है. और उसमें हमारे पास प्योर सब्सटेंस होंगे. So I'll say this is P1, P2, P3. So pure substance forming mixtures are called its component. Pure substance forming a mixture are called components. So is, for example, अगर हमारे पास तीन pure substance है within a mixture, so we'll say it has three components in it. Okay. A mixture may be homogeneous or heterogeneous. ठीक है, और इसके भी further classification है, homogeneous and heterogeneous. So completely mixed with each other. This means particular component of mixtures are uniformly distributed throughout the bulk of the nature and its composition is uniform throughout. मेरे को समझ में नहीं आया ये ना, uniform throughout, composition is uniform throughout. तो हमारे पास हो गया एक homogeneous mixture, then the next one is heterogeneous mixture. The components completely mix with each other. Okay. So क्या है कि mixture contains different components. So in case of homogeneous, the component mixes uniformly throughout the bulk of, and its composition is uniform throughout. Composition probably means I don't know, sugar solution Here are example of homogeneous mixture. Okay, so here components of the mixture. So these are very two important points. Uniformly distributed, and then the composition is uniform. Example, air. Now, in contrast to this, we have heterogeneous mixture. It's not uniform throughout, and sometimes different components are visible. Probably something like sand and water. Components of the mix. I mean, basically the opposite of homogeneous. Not uniformly distributed. Composition is not uniform. Probably like sand and water. Or you can think of and एक और point लिख सकते हैं, sometimes components are visible. So let me ask Claude कि compositions are uniform, इसका क्या मतलब हुआ? Where I'm learning about homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture. Explain me what composition is uniform means in this context. That if you took a sample from any part of it would have the same exact ratio. Okay. In a homogeneous mixture like air, 78% is nitrogen, 21% from any corner of the room versus other corner. If you scope out from the top of the container, you might get mostly water. So the composition is not. Oh, it's a very good analogy. Composition, uniform composition means because the particles are mixed ionic level. So what I will do, I'll just copy this Claude response. Okay. ये पूरा ही कॉपी कर लेते हैं. I will just paste it somewhere next to this. Yo. इसको कहाँ पे यहाँ पे रख देते हैं. Also, I want to know what is the difference between atom, molecule, and particle exist different levels, specifically the broadest most, okay, it's a generic term, the smallest unit of chemical element, two or more atoms bonded together, putting together an umbrella term. Every particle is an atom or a molecule. Because the point, it doesn't matter what kind of particle they are, the diagram is just making the point. ठीक है, इसको भी कॉपी कर लेते हैं रिस्पॉन्स को. ये होगा. ये क्या करते हैं, ग्रुप सिलेक्शन. ठीक है, ये तो क्लियर हो गया. A pure substance have characteristic different from constituent particle have fixed. Okay, so pure substance have fixed composition. Glucose contain carbon in fixed ratio. So other, if they have fixed composition, then what is the difference between pure substance and homogeneous mixture? I think pure substance only constitute, you know, a same type of particle. Pure substance can be further classified into particles of element consist of one type of. These particles may exist as atoms or molecules. Okay. From previous, however, you'll be studying about them more, the atoms of different elements. When two or more atoms of different element combine together in definite ratio, the molecule of a compound is obtained. Alright. Okay, so we got pure substance now. And from particle of pure substance have fixed composition. So if pure substance have fixed composition, what is the difference from homogeneous mixture? Mixture. Oh, So in pure substance like chemical, every single molecule have to atoms are chemically bonded homogeneous pictures of dissolved. Nothing stops you from having that air that night a different mixture. The ratio isn't locked by chemical bonding. Okay, fixed by chemical bonding can very happen given some but isn't locked only by chemical means. New property is different from construct. Okay, so इसको नोट डाउन कर ही लेते हैं काफी कंफ्यूजिंग टॉपिक है I'll say what is the difference between pure substance and homogeneous mixture. A pure substance and then homogeneous mixture. Composition ratio. Fixed 1 for HO in water. Um, can vary happens to be uniform in a given sample but isn't locked. Can vary happens to be uniform in a given sample but can vary. Separation only by chemical means, by physical means. And then finally we got properties. So new property is different from constituent element. New property is different from constituent element. Each component keeps its original properties. Means evenly distributed, not chemically locked. Okay. So over here I can add as a note So pure substance have fixed composition. ये थोड़ा सा मिसलीडिंग है यहाँ पे composition is not uniform. अच्छा composition is uniform है composition is fixed. So note यहाँ पे मैं लिख सकता हूँ under this uniform does not mean equal to fixed. Okay, and the composition is fixed. Now again these are classified into two groups, elements, and then we have compound. Particles of an element only constitute one type. These particles may exist as atoms or molecules. And when different atoms or molecules combine in a definite ratio, then it's called compound. So element can be again, क्या है element की definition? Only one type of particle constitute of one type of particle और फिर this can further be into two types, atom, and then we have molecule. Compound. More atoms or molecule are chemically combined in a definite ratio. क्या? The molecule of a compound is exist as molecule. ठीक है. And when two or more atoms, then you get a molecule of compound. So what is the difference between molecule and a compound then? चलो क्लॉड से पूछते हैं. See, atom is one element. Molecule can be group of atoms, and compound is also a group of atoms. So what is the difference between a molecule and compound? Molecule, not a compound. Specifically require two or more different elements. So the relation is every compound is a molecule or at least a bonded particle. Not every molecule is a compound if it's made only of one type. It's called molecule of element, not compound. same atom bonded. Oh, okay. A subcategory of molecule. Oh, okay. Loosely speaking, the one where the bonded atoms belong to different. So I can just write over here what is the difference between molecule and compound. Atom, for example, oxygen, sodium, and then over here O2 हो गया हमारा, नाइट्रोजन। अब कंपाउंड, तो क्या बोल रहे हैं कि वी हैव मॉलिक्यूल्स, उसमें एक सब कैटेगरी है कंपाउंड। सो इफ आई ड्रॉ अ वेन diagram, so outside we have atom, then a subcategory is molecule, and again a subcategory is compound. Is my thinking correct? Okay, particle a broader term, then we have molecule of element, molecule of compound. अच्छा, um, is this mentioned? Molecule of element, molecule of compound. Nah. So what I'll do, I'll just add it over here for my own understanding. Molecule of elements, molecule of compound. जैसे यहाँ पे हो गया O2 हो गया, N2 हो गया, and over here NaCl, H2O, things like that. हो गया, and now I'll pick properties of matter and measurements in a different video. अभी तो चैप्टर स्टार्ट ही हुआ, अभी तो बहुत कुछ पढ़ा हुआ है।